Next on Saratoga Live, it's Alabama Days. 3-year-old fillies take center stage, and Grade 2 Mother Goose winner Midnight BISOU is the one to beat. Her stablemate may just be up to the task. She's a Julie. Comes off back-to-back wins, including the best performance of her career in her first graded stakes win. And the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf champion from last November is eager to bounce back from her first career defeat. Can Rushing Fall earn her 5th victory in 6 career starts? Welcome to Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great to have you with us on Alabama Day, where these 3-year-old fillies try and get a 1.25 miles in our feature race coming up. A beautiful Saturday afternoon, and we expect a packed house here at the premier race meet in the country here at Saratoga Springs. Fans already getting into it. And of course, we have expanded bonus coverage all day long, on from 2 to 6:30 this afternoon. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met and LA Dodger Paul LaDuca, Jonathan Kinchin, 2015 National Handicapping Tour champion, back with us. We got to work with you last week or so. Good to have you back up here. Alabama Day, such a special day here at this racetrack. One of the most important races really anywhere in the entire country. It's one of the longest female races in the United States. And Midnight BISOU comes into this spot. She won't have to deal with Monomoy Girl, so does that now make her squarely the one to beat?
Yeah, it does. It makes her squarely the one to beat. Listen, when you put away Monomoy Girl and you put away Wonder Godot, what comes next? It's Midnight BISOU. The race is going to run through her. She's going to be the favorite, and the Hall of Famer Mike Smith takes the ride all the way from California. And for Steve Asmussen, who's had a very good meet here, Jonathan, she just got beat in the CCA Oaks by a better filly. This was her crushing in the Mother Goose.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of kind of what leads up to the Derby. These horses are going to be trying something for the first time, 1.25 miles. Her most impressive races were a little bit shorter, so we got to find out if she's going to like the 1.25 miles. I think a lot of people think that these horses that are going to be stretching out are going to enjoy it, the closers, but sometimes they don't.
Might get a little bit better pace scenario as well this time around than she did in the Coaching Club American Oaks. Although I'm not sure that would have made a difference with how sharp Monomoy Girl has been, the division leader among 3-year-old fillies. This is a look at the field, and Midnight BISOU 7-5. Mike Smith, as Paul mentioned, trying to win this race again. Won with Songbird a couple of years ago. Well, we talked about Midnight BISOU. She, of course, in the Steve Asmussen barn. Her stablemate, She's a Julie, might be the sentimental favorite for the barn in this race. With more on that story, let's check in with Gabby Gaudet.
Yes, of course, Greg. In the Alabama, Midnight BISOU is not the only storyline for Steve Asmussen, as he and both Carol Castile, the owner of Winding Oaks Farm, will both send out She's a Julie. Now, She's a Julie was actually named after Steve Asmussen's wife, Julie, after being diagnosed with neck and throat cancer back in 2015. Now, since then, her cancer has been gone into remission, but definitely a sentimental horse here for the connections, I would imagine. Obviously, this is a relationship that has spanned throughout the past decade here. So I know all eyes will be on Midnight BISOU, but the sentimental one will definitely be She's a Julie as she gets into the starting gate, as we head over and check in with more with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thank you, Gabby. And possibly the up-and-comer here in this Alabama field is the outside, number 8, and Talk VEUVE to me, who will go out for trainer Rudolph Brissett, who's only been training for a year and a half, and she is already his second graded stakes winner, as she comes off a dominant win in the Indiana Oaks, where she destroyed a field first time going 2 turns. Now, in her 5 starts, she's never been worse than second. In that second place effort, one of them, she was defeated by Monomoy Girl, who is the division leader as far as 3-year-old fillies are concerned. Now, this will be her toughest task to date as far as the distance, 1.25 miles as she jumps from the 1.16 but her trainer Rudolph Brissett saying that she is push button, that she can be forwardly placed where she looks as though she has some speed, or she can kindly rate, and he's very optimistic about her chances here, Greg.
Well, it would be extra special. Rudolph Brissett, this was the first horse he ever had in his barn. He actually picked this filly out. So that would mean quite a bit for a trainer that's only been on his own for just over a year. $200 new member sign-up bonus. Get started. Go to NYRABets.com or download the NYRABets app and use the promo code Saratoga Live, and you'll get $200 in your account. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Take a look at the full schedule that we have for you coming up this afternoon. Race 3 is just a minute to post. We'll have that coming up in a moment. Maiden special weight in the 4th. Our big ones, the Lake Placid on the turf in race 8, where we see our Peters Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf Champion back in action, and of course the Grade 1 Alabama, our feature, race number 9 this afternoon. Weather and track conditions brought to you by Pyranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of the Saratoga Racecourse. Piranha on, pests gone. Main track is fast. That's been upgraded from earlier today. Turf course condition listed as soft. As we're just about set for our first live race of the day here, the third 7 furlongs, $50,000 claiming race in Nigel's Destiny for Jeremiah Engelhardt, 3-1 favorite right now, Jonathan.
Yeah, 3-1 favorite. They don't know who to bet here. There's a couple 3-1 horses in here. I get Nigel's Destiny, the horse for Jeremiah Engelhardt. 2 back, had a really big figure, ran well, going 7 furlongs. So back going 7 again today. I think the horse is live for sure.
Multiple winner, yeah, at 7 furlongs and now cutting back a little bit, Paul, as we take a look here at Forge, who's only tried at 7 furlongs and didn't go so well at Aqueduct.
Yeah, usually this is a good sign when Maker claims a horse and then raises in class. Now, this horse does have some speed, but can be tactical. You see the pick bar below. We're all over the place here. But, yeah, Forge, you know, 4 for 14 lifetime and is 3 for 5 this year, so likes to win races.
Wide open group, J.S. Bach, Jason Service. He has started to heat up a little bit. We saw his Still Crazy just out sprint a field a little bit earlier in the week. That is a lightning quick horse. This horse should be a little more tactical, sitting off the pace and stalking here if this one were to win. But that is your favorite right now at 3-1 on the board with Irad Ortiz Jr., your meet's leading rider. Third race, 50,000 claiming race, 7 furlongs as we kick off our live coverage here on Alabama Day. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
Daddy DT now moving into the starting gate. And Nigel's Destiny and Jose Ortiz will come up to the outside stall. They have gone to the slight favorite role of 5-2. And they're all in line. They're off. Nigel's Destiny broke a bit outwardly there. And there goes J.S. Bach up to grab the lead with Fundy's Tide. It's these two to shoot out to the front. Nigel's Destiny will sit off of them and be third up the backstretch, just ahead of Forge, who's down toward the rail. Then it's Daddy DT back running in 5th by another 2. Sir Valentine is next, and he looks the part. Last of them all heading up the backstretch. Fundy's Tide in front. Ran at 23.09 opening quarter mile. Leads at a half a length. J.S. Bach on the outside second. Nigel's Destiny is third on the outside of Forge. Daddy DT 5th in behind them and racing 3.5 lengths off the lead with a half mile to go. Then Sir Valentine, he looks the part, last of them all. Around the far turn, Fundy's Tide the leader a half a length. J.S. Bach pressing on the outside. Nigel's Destiny is third. The half was 46.18 seconds. Forge rides the rail around that turn, and now comes one off the rail, a length and a half off the lead. Daddy DT retreats. Sir Valentine, and he looks the part, and they're into the stretch. And J.S. Bach has taken the lead as they turn for home. Forge on the move on the outside. These two are 1-2 with a furlong to go. Sir Valentine, and he looks the parter, trying to mount charges in the back of the pack. It's J.S. Bach in front. Forge is given way into second. Then he looks the part. And Sir Valentine on the far outside, and they're coming down to the line. And J.S. Bach is gonna do it. 3 noses on the wire for second. He looks the part. Sir Valentine and Forge in 1:24 flat.
J.S. Bach for Jason Service, meets leading rider, collects another victory, and he was sharp early on in here.
He really was, and you make a good point and a great point there, Greg, because he was able to stalk immediately out of the gate. Irad got him out of the gate very, very cleanly, and then he basically, you know, Jonathan, to me, sort of rode the race like he was in front and wasn't really worried about the 3.
Yeah, much better trip than last time. He was stuck down inside last in the last race. For a second, it looked like Ford was going to run at him. Switched leads late and just got tired. Yeah. And Irad and Jason Service kept on going.
Seems like that's a theme.
Late in the game, he looks the part, the 5 of the Sir Valentine, the 2. They sort of kicked into gear, but it was too late.
Yeah, you know, and this is going to be interesting how this track plays today. It's been harrowed. We saw the best horse, I believe, win here, but we did see those 2 horses launching from way back. So be very interesting. They did not come home that great, so it could be a tiring racetrack.
5-2 on J.S. Bach. We have a photo for place, and let's see who's able to get second in here, and it looks like it's the 5-horse, I believe. You have the best eyes, though.
Yeah, 5-2, yeah, definitely. So you get a little bit of value underneath where Sir Ballantine, he looks the part, yeah.
Michael Dubb, he is not giving up on winning the owner's title here, and he's usually in the mix. Got some work to do to catch Klarovich Stables, but he collects another win here. 4-5-2-1. We'll be back with the prices in just a moment. Set up the fourth quick break, and we will return. 2014 Alabama. Stop Charging Maria, second straight Grade 1 win. And a look at the Foal Patrol with Stop Charging Maria when we come back.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track. Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners Taylor Spirit, He Hate Me, and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have brought prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Clayton Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live. It's always happy hour at Saratoga. Into the winner's circle. Trainer Jason Service. Irad Ortiz Jr. meets leading rider connects. Another victory. Those the silks that we get familiar to seeing on this show of Michael Dubb.
Yeah, I mean, it is getting old, but I'm sure they are loving every bit of it. And Jason Service is just going on a streak that has been streaks of all streaks. Over 150 starts. He's almost at 50%. J.S. Box is a tail of the cat of the Pulpit Marin. 10-carat lady. 790 on top. Now 7 for 27 lifetime.
He's won 3 of his last 5 starts. Hard day's work and a walk back to the barn. Job well done by J.S. Bach. And again, he was so sharp early here out of the gate. I didn't expect to be anywhere near the lead, but he almost vied for the front in this race.
Yeah, Funny's Tide popped out of there from the inside and set the pace, but he sat right off of him. He always had him in his sights.
Yeah, he did.
So J.S. Bach picks up the 7th win of his career. Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Pleased to be joined here by winning owner Mike Dubb. J.S. Bach here. Mike, last time a little disappointing, but he easily handled this group here today.
Well, you know, Irad's a very patient rider. I think last time he was on the rail, he just bided his time waiting, you know, for some room. And this time the horse broke alertly, and he said, I don't have to bide my time. I'm going to go. He tracked the leader and took off at will, and it was nice to see.
Mike, could be a big day for you as you'll send out The Way I Am with other partners a little bit later in the Lake Placid. She is one determined filly. Talk a little bit about her today.
Well, you know, she's the Energizer Bunny. She's about the size of my boxer at home, but the heart on that filly is amazing. The athleticism is amazing. She just constantly awes us with her accomplishments on the racetrack, because we just, you know, we know she's good, but we just had no idea she was that good. So she's got Johnny, she's got the inside, and I want Johnny in a big race.
That is true. He's a grade 1 type of rider. And talk about her being on the inside. She ran very well in the face of Athena in the Belmont Oaks.
Yeah, and when she raced at Gulfstream over the winter, she came up the inside a couple times. She's very comfortable on the inside. She has no fear. She clearly doesn't realize her size.
No. It might be an advantage in her opinion, but best of luck later. Congrats here, though.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys, Mike Deb looking to have a big day here on Alabama.
Well, off to a great start already. She was very good. She was making a bold move in that Belmont Oaks Invitational. Got beat at a mile, ran second, got beat at a mile and a quarter. Could a mile and an eighth be perfect for her?
I don't see why not. Listen, she looks like she's passed every test. She's had one bad race. That was in the Jimmy Durante at Del Mar against Daddy as a Legend. That was a while ago. Her efforts over a yielding course are very, very good, and I don't think she's going to have an issue.
Yeah, the important thing I noticed is that she's comfortable down inside. A lot of her races, she's running down on the inside, so a lot of these fillies don't like that. They don't like being buried down inside. This one will be comfortable. She'll save all the ground that she needs, and she'll have a shot for sure.
By the way, Graham Motion got off the duck.
Yes, he did. Won the opener on the card today, so does not have to worry about that one. Now we'll see if those wins start to come in bunches. Time for what's trending right now. You know you are a superstar when you're running in a race that is named after you. That's the deal that Winks was running in this afternoon. Here it is.
To the outside, Winks and Kementari's trying to stick with her, although she dropped him now. Cabeza Barker takes the lead. 200 meters to run, but here she comes. Winks right down the outside, powering away from the Invictus Prince Dargetto and Kementari. But how soft for Winks. There's 26 in a row for the champ.
26 consecutive victories. That's a new Australian win record, surpassing the great Black Caviar, a winning streak that dates all the way back to May of 2015.
This is really insane. You know, when Black Caviar first came out, it was such a phenomenon, and she took, obviously, Australia by storm, and she did it more with her speed, Jonathan. Winks is sort of cool, right? A little bit like the sprinting Zenyatta, right?
I'll tell you what, when you can win 26 races in a row from coming from off the pace, I mean, just look out here today how many bad trips people get coming from off the pace. It's unbelievable.
19th Group 1 win. It comes the record breaker in the Winks Stakes as she takes the race named after her. Pretty incredible story right there, so well done. And Chris Waller, the trainer, has done an amazing job keeping her at the top of her game. We showed you before we went to break. Stop Charging Maria. We're going to check in on her in just a moment. And here as we take a look at the field for race 7. I'm sorry, for the race 4 here. It's the 7 ahead of Plan, who is a 5-2 current favorite. Javier Castellano aboard.
So of course, when you get a 2-year-old race, what do you get? You get a lot of bzzz.
And where's the buzz going?
The 7 supposedly can run, Jonathan. I heard the 2 could run. So you get that all the time. You got to go with your gut.
My favorite part of hanging out at Saratoga is hearing who's going to run well.
Well, this was back in 2014. Todd Pletcher's going to have a firster coming up in the 4th. Took the Alabama with Stop Charging Maria. Mike Rapoli, those silks you see there, he said he could never get up to Saratoga. The Queen's kid couldn't afford to come here. His car wouldn't make it that far. So this was a special moment for him. Stop Charging Maria. As we take a look at Full Patrol, you can see her in full, live.
Full Patrol is a website where you can witness mares giving birth live. We got some of the highest profile mares in the country, bred to the best stallions in the world. We had 8 mares this year in Full Patrol, and right now we have almost 1 million views.
We bred a leading mare to a leading sire with some kind of background that makes sense of why it would be a good mating, and the product we got reinforces that. We're pleased with what we got. Foal was 114 pounds, 40.5 inches tall, which is good size, and it's got attractive features, has some leg and frame, so really happy with what we got from the mating. Some engagement from the fans has created some engagement here on the farm as well, so it's been a good thing. Maria, as we call her, in her short name, has really done great. She's got full ownership of that foal. She's protective of it, like she should be, but not in a crazy way. And, as you can see her demeanor out there in the paddock, she's just making sure that foal is safe, and, that's really good to see. Her mothering instincts are strong, and they're good ones, and I think it'll lead to her raising a good, healthy, and good foal, and hopefully a good athlete as well.
Foal Patrol has been great because Foal Patrol gives you a chance to see a horse when it's a baby, and everyone loves babies. When you think about sports, typically the first year that we see an athlete, we don't know them that well. It takes a couple of years for us to fall in love with that athlete, whether it be a human athlete or an equine athlete. Well, in horse racing, a horse only runs for a couple of years and then they're gone. So how do you fall in love with them? Foal Patrol gives us a way to fall in love with them when they're born, and we can then follow them through their campaigns.
I just thought if people got a chance to see what we see every day, they would fall in love with the sport and we would reach a new demographic. And right now it's being seen in over 40 countries. The National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame has to be involved in the next generation. People are getting their information from their smartphones, iPads, and we're engaging a whole new generation to come and see the museum. We do traditional things extremely well here. We honor the past, but we have to look to the future and realize we have to get information to people where they are actually searching for it. This website is very informative and educational. People can learn about their daily routines, what they eat, what time they come in. It tells about all aspects of giving birth. Once you see a foal being born, you'll never be the same. You don't fall in love with a thoroughbred at the racetrack. You fall in love in the foaling barn. And when you see that horse being born, you're saying maybe this is the next Triple Crown winner.
Well, great opportunity to see this fascinating process that most of us don't know a whole lot about. There is the filly by Pioneer of the Nile, born on February 2nd, the second mare, Stop Charging Maria, to give birth in 2018. And thanks to Foal Patrol, you're able to catch it online. Absolutely fascinating. We're going to take a break of the action. It is Alabama Day. Mike Smith knows this day well. Guided Songbird to victory in this race a couple of years ago on their way, Songbird's way to a 3-year-old championship. Looking to get it done again this afternoon with Midnight BISOU. We'll take a break and we'll be back. Stay tuned.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. They're off.
Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Soft gonna turn with a link to the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
Dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, it was Lustgarten Foundation Day today at Saratoga, honoring the legacy of late trainer Dominic Galucio with a day to benefit the Lustgarten Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to funding pancreatic cancer research. The day featured autograph session with various trainers from around Saratoga, and in the first race, purple saddle cloths worn by the horses to help raise awareness.
Literally raise awareness more here at Saratoga than they do anywhere else, and really concentrate on all the charities and all the good things that happen that make horse racing go.
We have the fourth race coming up next here, maiden special weight for 2-year-olds, 6 furlong sprint, as we get a look at the odds here again ahead of plan. We talked about briefly first-timer for Chad Brown and the leading owners at the Meat Klarovich Stables, and that is your favorite right now at 2-1, the son of Big Drama. Let's check in with Gabby Gaudette for more on race 4.
Thanks, Greg. We're here with Julian Leparoux, who will be aboard Larceny coming up next. And I know this is the first time that you're on this horse, but how do you think overall the track is playing today, Julian?
I think it's pretty fair. You know, the speed won earlier, and Ravier later on, you know, came from off of it, so it's pretty fair. But this horse ran a pretty good race first time, so hopefully he step up for today.
Later on in the Grade 1 Alabama, you're aboard Talk VEUVE to Me. An impressive victory last time out in the Anna Oaks, your first time on her. What was that feeling like of her underneath of you with that victory last out?
She did it very easy. I mean, she did it very impressive. I know the competition might be not as good as today, but she did it very easy. No, I think she should be running a big race today. I feel like the morning quarter should be good for her. The 2-turn is very nice, and she should be able to relax, hopefully on the lead, and go from there.
You think that she has that type of speed that can go 1.25 miles?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's definitely got the speed to be on the lead today, and then I think she can stay the 1.25 miles. So, you know, obviously it's a tough race anyway, but I think she's got the talent to do it.
Julian, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, as we head over across the paddock to check in with Maggie Wolfendale with a paddock report brought to you by Hillendale.
Thanks, Gabby. And actually very interested in Julian's mount here, number 3, Larceny, for Brian Lynch. You know, he did not have the smoothest of trips in his first outing. It was a race where a lot of horses kind of came together, kind of brushed with each other as well. And he'll come back in his second start with ample time in between starts, and also gets Lasix here for trainer Brian Lynch. I like this horse from the individual standpoint last time out, in that he's a big, good-looking, nicely balanced, well-conditioned, and a super coat on him. So I think, given the experience, we've seen horses that have experience in these 2-year-old races perform quite nicely over the Saratoga meeting. So I like Larceny here, as we'll check in with a couple of first-time starters, including number 2, Principled, for Todd Pletcher, a son of Medaglia d'Oro out of Teen Pauline, who won the Top Flight handicap. She was pretty proficient in that middle distance kind of dirt division, and he comes in here. He looks like a sprinter. He actually has a pretty nice engine to him. He's a little bit more on the smaller, typier side, and he's fairly sharp. Now, we'll see if this Todd Pletcher trainee will break alertly, because that has been an ongoing issue with these horses not getting out of the gate. Now, number 4 is Endorsed, another one with a nice pedigree, and son of Medaglia d'Oro. Damn Dance Card won the Gazelle, and also ran 3rd quite nicely in the filly and mare sprint. So both of these having a pedigree that would suggest they can kind of go any distance. Looking at him, though, Medaglia d'Oro is certainly kind of pulling through, and that he might want a little more ground moving forward. Pretty relaxed here in the paddock. He's beautiful. I love what I'm seeing from him overall, but just feel as though this might be a starting point for him to kind of move forward from in future races here, Greg.
Well, we'll see if this one's ready to fire first time out or not. 6-1 on the board. Joe Bravo will ride. You can take a look there at He's the Super One for Live Oak Plantation, Familiar Silks. Charlotte Weber's operation, trained by Mark Cassidy. This is, we thought would be anyway, one of the key contenders in this race. Irad Ortiz Jr. in the irons. We're going to take a look at that first out effort back on July 28th. This was a race that was scheduled for the grass, came off and run on the main track, and able to wind up 3rd in this race.
Well, he makes up a lot of ground, right? And you're worried. Your one thing is, okay, the horse broke okay, got taken back. It was an off-the-turf event. So am I looking about a bunch of turf fillies? that were turf colts, and he's just sort of running along a little greenly too.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, I think, when you have a horse that was a race was taking off the turf, and a horse can eat that much dirt and still run on like that. Took a lot of dirt backing up behind those horses.
Well, that was, again, back on July 28th. There is the son of Super Saver. Just leaving our screen here is Baracho. It's a Rusty Arnold runner, son of Uncle Mo. Jose Lezcano will ride, and this horse was 35-1 first time out, July 28th at Saratoga.
Squeezed at the start right here and came running late.
Well, he did. Like, it was really weird. Like, so I liked what the jockey did, Lezcano. He sort of got him to relax, and then when we get to the top of the stretch, Jonathan's right. He starts to pick it up a little bit. He really starts getting into him. I like that Lezcano got him to finish. Sometimes when horses get left in their first start, jockeys will sort of give up. I think he got something out of this race. And listen, the horse on the front end ran, and this was a good group of horses. So I thought this race coming out of the race was going to be a good group of horses, and I think that Baracho might be coming out of the best race.
Well, you'd love to see it. Showed some interest certainly late in that race after losing basically all chance out of the start of that race. Our post-parade coming up here in just a moment. We're going to kick things off with Pointer View, and here is the one trained by Tony Dutrow, son of Painter, with Manny Franco.
Yeah, he's for West Point Thoroughbreds here. 12-1 on the line, 17-1. Not really getting played, but I had heard this horse is okay in the morning.
Todd Pletcher sends out Principled with John Velasquez aboard.
$320,000 yearling stakes out of the stakes-winning Teen Pauline. This is one of Todd's best ones, is what we hear.
Brian Lynch will send out Larceny, who has a start under his belt. It came in Belmont. Julian Leperoux rides.
Yeah, in the second career start, now going to get Lasix. And Brian Lynch about 13% on that move, so you're getting 9-1.
First time starter that Maggie was talking about in the paddock report. Here's endorsed for Godolphin and Kerry McLaughlin.
Really well bred out of the stakes-winning Dance Card. I agree with Maggie. I think this one's going to need a little bit longer.
He's the super one. Mark Cassidy, we showed you that race that was taken off the turf in his debut. Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
You know, when you look back at that June 22nd work at Keeneland when he worked the bullet out of the gate, I'm wondering if he's going to get out of the gate a little bit better and be a lot closer up, but he's not really getting played today.
Better break for this one, could be dangerous. Baracho for Rusty Arnold.
Took no money last time, taking a little bit more money this time, and like you said, had the tough break in the last race.
11-1 on Baracho. We skip ahead to the 8 here. Cromwell Avenue, trained by John Kimmel with David Cohen.
Took no money last time, no money this time. Probably look elsewhere.
15-1 on Cromwell Avenue. The 9 is High Sheriff. D. Wayne Lucas debuted this horse going long on turf.
Yeah, showed speed and just sort of backed out of it. And maybe it's one of those D. Wayne's plans, and now gets Lasix and shortens up.
And ahead of plan, Chad Brown meets leading trainer, meets leading owner, Klarovich Stables, and Javier Castellano, 2-1, current favorite. We know this barn lethal with these 2-year-olds here at this meet, and especially later on as well. Chad Brown having a sensational Saratoga. We're going to take a break in the action. More coming up. He's the Super One, sent out by Charlotte Weber's Live Oak Plantation, a super operation, and the son of Super Saver, well named, currently on the board at 4-1. We'll be back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
on Saratoga Live on Alabama Day. And last year in the Alabama, it was a late, a third-generation homebred for Claiborne Farm and Adele Dilschneider, winning by 5.5 lengths, providing Hall of Famer Bill Mott with a third Alabama, and her sire with a second straight Medaglia d'Oro.
Yeah, right. Songbird and a late. I mean, two unbelievable horses, but a late. That was really the coming out party for her.
She won impressively off a lengthy layoff, 1.25 miles in the Del Cap. We're going to see her in the personal ensign here on Travers Day, back in action. We can't wait for that. We're going to check in right now with Maggie Wolfendale.
Greg, thank you. And we see two of the horses here in today's fourth race having come out of the OBS sales. We'll start with your current favorite in number 7, Ahead of Plan. Now, they paid $475,000 for a son of Big Drama, who carries only a $5,000 stud fee with a bottom side pedigree of dirt sprinters that weren't any superstars. They won races out of the damn Daisy Dukes, but not great, that's for sure. Now, he worked 10 flat with a little bit of urging, really good reach, and he moves quickly, but he covers the ground nicely as well. I liked it, but here in the paddock, and we saw him come out later, he was really wound up, which is not typical for a Chad Brown first-time starter. They are typically very professional. Beautiful, big, good-looking horse. If mentally he holds it together, he could very well hold the keys to this race, but we'll see how he does beneath Javier Castellan. I like the fact you took him away from the pony. He's behaving better now. Number 1 is Pointer View, a big long shot on the board. He worked a bit slower than Ahead of Plan, that's for sure. 10 and 2, not much urging, but this horse primarily stayed on his inside lead, and he just looked like a horse that's crying out for more ground. Just kind of that even kind of stride where he covered the ground, but just not any quickness to him. So that's the same impression I got here, guys, and that he's all legs, very laid back. 6 furlongs, probably gonna be on the short side for him. As a horse that I'm interested in that could be a sprinter is Todd Pletcher's trainee, and she, Gabby Gaudette, is standing by with him.
That's right. Thank you very much, Maggie. And Todd, you definitely have some experience, at least with the bottom side of the pedigree, having trained the mare Teen Pauline. But what have been your impressions of this first-time starter today?
He's been a very straightforward professional colt. He's been good in the mornings, good away from the gate. Hopefully, as this afternoon, having drawn inside, he needs to get away cleanly. Looks like kind of a loaded Saratoga maiden race on paper.
That it does, but do you see a little precocity in him? I mean, there's a couple of horses in here that look like they're bred to maybe go longer. Do you get that sprinter type from him?
No, I think he's versatile enough. I mean, I think eventually he'll stretch out, but he actually has enough tactical speed, hopefully, to be competitive at 6. I think there's a good distance for him to start out at.
Later on in the Grade 1 Alabama, you send out Piera Bianchi, and I was looking at the workout. She last worked out at Churchill. I thought that was a mistake, but what was kind of the issue with that?
Well, we actually shipped her to Indiana Grand to run an Indiana bred stake, and it rained and canceled, and we decided we didn't want to train there, so had to call an audible breezer at Churchill, and the owners decided, hey, let's take a shot at the Alabama. So it's kind of a odd way to get here, but we'll see how it works out.
How do you think she'll like the 1 1/4 mile stretching out from 3/4?
Well, I mean, her comeback race was probably better than it looks on paper. It was a solid figure, and you know, she's been a versatile filly. She's run well as a 2-year-old around 2 turns, so if she can get a good ground-saving trip, hopefully get a piece of it.
Todd, thank you, and best of luck. All right, back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thanks. That was a sneaky good return race for Piera Bianchi back on June 24, so we'll see if she can move forward off that tall task in the 1 1/4 mile Grade 1 Alabama. You get signed up, started, play along with all the races we show you here on Alabama Day and all summer long at Saratoga by going to Naira Bets or download the Naira Bets app. $200 sign-up bonus going on right now. Bet any track, anytime, anywhere. You saw the analyst selections right there. We just talked about it's Alabama Day. Medaglia d'Oro started the last 2 Alabama winners. We got 2 sons of Medaglia d'Oro in this spot, huh? Principled, the 2, and the 4 endorsed.
Yeah, Todd seemed a little happy about the 2. I think the 2's going to run here a little bit, but I still think the 7, I know the 7's keyed up, but, you know, the workout reports in the morning have reported that the 7's got tremendous gate speed, so maybe it's just one of these horses that Chad has. It's just very fast.
Yeah, as someone mentioned earlier, these Todd horses haven't been breaking as well like he usually does. Up here, they pop from the gate and they run. If this one can break, he's going to be dangerous. We've got to see if he can get out of there first.
Yeah, it's been kind of a theme of the meet. His youngsters, Todd Pletcher, which we don't usually see from that barn at all, having trouble getting out. Could a two principled cleanly get away? If so, could be trouble, but ahead of plan for Chad Brown, the 7-horse right now is the favorite, has been favored throughout. There is ahead of plan, the son of big drama, as Maggie mentioned. Sire stands for 5,000. This horse sold for 475,000. So must have looked awfully good going through the sales ring. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call of race 4. Here's Larry Colmus.
Last 2 to go into the gate are Cromwell Avenue and High Sheriff. 3-2 right now on ahead of plan. For Chad Brown and Javier Castellano, as Cromwell Avenue is just a little bit reluctant to step up. The assistant starters working on getting him into the starting gate. Looks like they've got him in there now. And just one left to load here. High Sheriff up to the outside stall. High Sheriff steps forward, goes in. They're all in line. They're off. Principled started well, so did ahead of plan. These 2 first-time starters out for the early lead together, with Cromwell Avenue away running in 3rd, High Sheriff 4th on the outside, and then it's Endorsed who's 5th and down toward the rail. He's the Super One is next. They're followed by Baracho, and at the back of the field are Pointer View and Larceny as they head for the half-mile pole. Ahead of plan and Javier Castellano go 23:02 for the first quarter. They lead Principled by 1.5 lengths, and now you can make it 2 as they make their way around the turn. Then it's Endorsed on the inside, followed by Cromwell Avenue. Baracho now within 5.5 lengths of the lead as they round the far turn. Then he's the Super One, Larceny. High Sheriff drops back on the outside. Pointer View at the back of the pack. It is ahead of plan, turning for home in front. Principled on the outside, runs at him as they come to the final furlong. Endorsed is 3rd toward the inside. Ahead of plan, holding off the competition. Endorsed is taken 2nd and tries to close in. Principled is back running in 3rd. It's ahead of plan. On the outside comes Endorsed. It's these 2 down to the line. Can Endorsed get up in the last strides? Yes, he can. Endorsed ran down ahead of plan. Then Principled and Baracho in 1:11.22.
Well, ahead of plan was a rocket ship out of the gate, but in the end, Endorsed able to run that one down for Kieran McLaughlin and Godolphin.
Yeah, you know what? Perfect analyzing by Maggie Wolfendale, saying the 7 might be expending a little energy, but we know that he's on his toes and he's going to show a ton of speed. But man, he got wobbly in the last 70 yards, Jonathan.
He sure did. And I was saying when they were running down the stretch, Endorsed was not supposed to run that good at 6 furlongs. That's a real racehorse.
Yeah, it is. He made a great move. There's Kieran going to the winner's circle. They got to be happy. This is a well-bred horse, and that's going to go on longer and longer. But wow, this is a good race. The racetrack 111 and change. These are better horses than that. It's playing. I think fitness-wise is key here.
And one of the great things about the Saratoga meeting, we talk about it all the time. You see future stars often in these 2-year-old races. Maybe this is one of them who could have an impact. Next year's a 3-year-old in the Triple Crown Trail. Endorsed on a Medallia d'Or out of a Tappet Mare dance card. With the win, let's go downstairs to Gabby Gaudet.
Wow, a super impressive performance by Endorsed today. Kieran, just talk about that stretch run. Did you think that this horse was going to get up?
No, I didn't at first, but he must be a grade 1 horse because I don't win very often first time out. So it was a great trip. He was very classy, did everything right, and it's a big win.
How impressive is it, though, for him to kind of come back and keep fighting like that for a first-time starter?
It was great. Joe Bravo rode him very well, and everything just went well. What a pedigree he has and a great individual. So we're just hopeful we have big future.
High hopes for this one?
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations, Kieran. I know you heard it from him himself. Kieran McLaughlin thinks that this horse is a grade 1 caliber horse, and he only has 1 race and 1 win.
Yeah, Kieran making fun of himself a little bit there, not winning a lot first time out, but this horse, impressive. Running down the speedster. I had a plan first time out. It certainly looks like this 2-year-old son of Medaglia d'Oro has a very bright future ahead. Joe Bravo on board for the winning ride. 4-7-2-6. We're going to take a break in the action. It, of course, is Alabama Day for 3-year-old fillies. But no wonder Gadot, she decided to pass. She's going to tackle the boys next weekend in the Travers. We'll have an update on the Wonder Woman when we come back.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired, New York-bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires, 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes, and world record setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. It's presented by Claiborne Farm. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Jonathan Kinchin. You're in the upstairs set, and we just saw maybe a future star in the making here in Endorse, winning his debut.
Yeah, Medaglia d'Oro out of the great race mare here. Dance Card, tap it on the bottom side. That Godolphin Blue crosses the wire first, and with the pedigree, an amazing pedigree, and a lot to look forward to. And listen, the head of plan just got a little bit tired. I think the top 3 finishes are all going to be nice.
4-7-2 finish aboard for the winning ride. It was Jersey Joe Bravo. Maggie Wolfendale standing by with him.
Yeah, and looks like an exciting horse here in Endorse as Joe. You needed all the stretch, but he was getting there quite easily.
He's a pretty nice horse. They had high hopes on this colt. I mean, but hey, listen, this is Saratoga. You come here looking for dream horses like this. I mean, he's just sky's the limit with him. He did everything the right way. He broke good. They outfooted him. He was breathing, relaxed underneath me on the backside, took dirt in his face, and did it like a pure professional. You could see the talents there, but he conducted himself so good. I mean, Karen, I just take my hat off to him. He brought him over the right way.
He definitely exudes a lot of class. Now, obviously, just getting up screams to the fact that he might want a little more ground moving forward. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, definitely. This horse definitely going to be looking for 2 turns. I mean, if you can see at the 8th pole, he really leveled off nice. Hey, it's hard to get by Chad Brown. Chad, you know, that's a feat in itself to get by Chad Brown, wow, a horse, you know? I take my hat off to both teams.
We take our hat off to you, Joe. You were aboard getting him across the wire first. Congratulations here with Endorsed.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Joe. You too. Joe, always pleasant to talk to, Greg.
He's always in a good mood, isn't he?
He is, especially when he's winning on horses like that, right?
Good place to be in the winner's circle and on a horse that, yeah, could turn into a future superstar. You got to be smiling with that performance. You could build your bankroll for the Travers Stakes in the Alabama today, but $50 to win on one horse in the Alabama with your Naira Bets account. And win or lose, you get $20 for Travers Day. Be sure to get your $50 win bet in for the Alabama. Get your account loaded up for the big one for the boys on Travers Day. Songbird, Royal Delta, Questing, Proud Spell, Blind Luck. That's just a few of the 3-year-old fillies that have won the Alabama and gone on to win an Eclipse Award as top 3-year-old filly in the land. This race is extremely prestigious. This year's group headlined by Midnight BISOU. Here are the contenders for this year's Alabama. It's the premier race of the Saratoga meet for 3-year-old fillies, won in recent years by the likes of Songbird and Royal Delta on their way to divisional championships. This year's edition appears wide open with the absence of current divisional leader Monomoy Girl. Midnight BISOU is without question the filly to beat. She had an excuse when third to Monomoy Girl in the Kentucky Oaks, then took a huge step forward in a sensational performance in the Mother Goose.
Mike Smith riding with confidence here on Midnight BISOU. And she is pulling away and pulling away impressively. Midnight BISOU, a very strong performance in the Mother Goose.
While no match for Monomoy Girl in the Coaching Club American Oaks, she was clearly best of the rest. Talk VEUVE to me has done very little wrong since an eye-catching 11-length maiden score at the fairgrounds. Like Midnight BISOU, she too has played second fiddle to Monomoy Girl when runner-up in the Acorn. She turned in her best performance yet off that effort in the Indiana Oaks. Steve Asmussen has had a terrific start to the meet, and he brings She's a Julie into the Alabama off back-to-back wins, including her first stakes triumph in the Grade 3 Iowa Oaks.
She's a Julie, and Ricardo Santana Jr. just canters to the wire all alone. In fact, eases up for the win.
Eskimo Kisses could benefit from having a start over the Saratoga surface already this meet. Her fourth-place finish in the Coaching Club American Oaks was her first start since the Kentucky Oaks. She should be rolling late and have much more punch down the lane second off the layoff. Of course, the biggest question mark, who will really shine at 1.25 miles, a distance none of these fillies have run before or may ever run again. That is the big question. Who can get the 1.25 mile distance in the Alabama? We're going to find out later on today in race 9 as you look at the field and odds for the $600,000 Grade 1 for 3-year-old fillies. And of course, Midnight BISOU with Mike Smith in town to ride, the 7-5 morning line favorite. It's so interesting to see all these moving chess pieces here in this 3-year-old filly division. Had Monomoy Girl decided to go into this race, and Connections, they were actually thinking about it a little bit because she did run on so impressively in that Coaching Club American Oaks win. Wonder Gadot would have showed up to take her on. Since she's not here, they said the only way we can win divisional honors is to beat the boys in the Travers.
Yeah, it's it's a sporting move. I respect that, that's for sure. I think it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. It's a tough group right there with Good Magic, and I know Middleton hasn't run well, but I still think that they're going to put him on a plane and bring him back over here. They're seeing something in the right direction. So the blinkers have definitely changed the way she's run. She's running much better races. Her Kentucky Oaks was good enough. We'll see what happens.
I wish they would just send me that plane money and leave Mendelssohn over there, please. This is a great effort in the Prince of Wales. The thing is like, what's more valuable for her as a broodmare? She has a chance to win the Triple Crown in Canada. She's Canadian bred. But
they want no part of 1.5 miles on the turf.
That's what the thing is. They want no part of 1.5 miles on the turf. They want against the boys. And she worked great in the morning on Friday. We've talked to Mark Cassidy on Saratoga Live, and he says she thrives on racing. She thrives on running, and that's what's making her better and better.
And her connections believe she is the best 3-year-old, regardless of sex, at 1.25 miles in the country. We already know she likes 1.25 miles. She's beat the boys twice in Canada, and she did it in the Prince of Wales on the front end, which is not her usual running style. John Velasquez called an audible and said, I don't want to get any slop in my face. Let's go to the front.
And it's not like Monomoy Girl has crushed her. So there
yeah, absolutely. Look at the field for the Run Happy Travers. It is coming up August 25th, next weekend. A loaded field. Of course, no Justify in this race. Justify retired a little bit earlier this summer, but he decided to pass along hardware that belongs to him that's visiting Saratoga today. That is the Triple Crown Trophy. With more, let's go to Gabby Godet.
Thank you, Greg. And here with President and CEO of the New York Racing Association, Chris Kay. And yes, we did have a Triple Crown winner this year, and we also have a flashy piece of hardware over here. Chris, what could you tell us about this?
Well, Gabby, this is the new Triple Crown trophy. It is a magnificent piece to represent the magnificent feat of any horse that can win the Triple Crown. Unlike those in the past, which were only 7 inches tall, this is actually the tallest trophy in all of sports. It's also the heaviest. And it's owned now by all 3 tracks, so we're going to rotate it between the 3 of us. And so today is the first day it's been on display for the great fans of ours here at the Saratoga Racecourse. And people can get their picture taken with it for $5, and the contribution is made to the Lustgarten Foundation to fight pancreatic cancer. This is a beautiful structure. It's a classic in design with a magnificent sculpture of horse and jockey in the top. But it's also contemporary in that it has a high gloss silver finish, and you can actually take a picture of yourself where your face is immersed in the trophy. So you are part of the trophy as well as taking a picture of the trophy.
Well, hopefully we got to get a picture taken on the Belmont Stakes side, that's for sure. It's a beautiful trophy, but Chris, you did mention that the proceeds and the funds go towards the Lustgarten Foundation. It's Lustgarten Foundation Day here at Saratoga. What more could you tell us about this?
Well, you know, pancreatic cancer is a very tough disease. And so the Lustgarten Foundation always tries to raise money for the research. One of our beloved trainers died about 4 or 5 years ago. And so we do this in honor of him. We have a autograph signing with the trainers for about an hour. And then we've had this on display for 2 hours. And fans who want to get their picture taken make a modest donation. We appreciate the donation, and everybody wins. In this terrible disease, we hope we can beat this cancer as soon as possible.
Absolutely. The trainer you were alluding to, Dominic Alucio, a huge member of the New York racing scene. And last but not least, it's Alabama Day. We've got Travers next weekend. How's it going so far up here at Saratoga?
It's a gorgeous day. The racing is superb, and I think that it's going to be a wonderful second half of the meet. As you said, we've got the Alabama next week. We may have a filly running in that race for the first time in many years. I think if she were to win, she would be the first filly to win in over 100 years. On Friday, the day before, we're going to have the Red Jacket ceremony. We're going to induct Bob Baffert into the Walk of Fame. So it's going to be a great weekend next weekend. Obviously, it's a great weekend this weekend as well.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us here today, Chris.
Thank you, Gabby.
All right, I'm going to go take a peek at this Triple Crown trophy because it's really pretty. Maybe I can get my picture taken in it.
And yeah, you got to share that selfie too, Gabby, when you do that, because if you do so and you share it on Facebook or Twitter, use the hashtag TCTrophy and the hashtag Saratoga, and you're entered to win a 2018 Premium Saratoga giveaway.
Just giving away everything, aren't we? I love it.
I want a selfie with that trophy. Race 5, it kicks off the Pick 6 here on Alabama Day. There's a $40,000 carryover in the Pick 6 sequence today. We start off with a $40,000 claiming race, 3/4 of a mile, and Gypsy Janie 2-to-1 favorite right now for Jeremiah Engelhardt off the claim.
Lots of speed in this race. I don't know where it's going to come from, who's going to be on the lead, but there's about 4 of them that look like they want to get it. Sometimes that can be a little bit tricky, and you know what happens. None of them go, but it feels like this one's going to be pretty quick early.
We'll talk through this field when we come up. Simona, maybe one who could benefit from all that pace in the race. 17-to-1 long shot. That's my result if this one wins in the carryover after 1 leg in.
Yeah, it looks like the 7 and 8 could be the 2 horses that could be coming from off the pace.
All right, we'll have our paddock report post-parade for the start of this Pick 6 sequence coming up in just a moment. Of course, our show brought to you each and every day by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger Paul LaDuca, Jonathan Kinchin with us as well. It is Alabama Day. Of course, that is the big one coming up. We also have the Lake Placid on the turf for 3-year-old fillies. We have a former Breeders' Cup winner in that spot trying to make the return in Rushing Fall. But in the Alabama, it's Midnight BISOU trying to prove that she can get a 1.25 miles.
Yeah, it's a great day. You joined us at the right time. You still got plenty of time to dig into those PPs. But you're going to see some Grade 1 fillies, and you're going to see, like Greg said, Rushing Fall making her comeback in a pretty good field. So some good racing here at Saratoga. And, you know, the thing is, the rain has gone away and the sun has come out.
Yeah, no, I would imagine the turf will be good enough for these fillies. No, I'm excited to see Rushing Fall, excited to see a kind of a rematch with her and Daddy as a Legend, and then see if Significant Form can find her previous form.
Turf listed as soft for that race we're talking about there, the Lake Placid. We're Rushing Fall, and Daddy is a Legend will go head-to-head. Daddy is a Legend, winner of the Lake George, with a nice trip down on the inside. Can she go back-to-back? We'll return.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Eclipse champion Blaine is having a breakout year in 2018. Among the nation's leading sires of stakes horses, his recent top runners include Fault, Maraud, Marley's Freedom, Beyond Blame, and Miss Kentucky. He's also making a name for himself internationally with French Classic winner Senga. And with yearlings bringing up to $350,000, this three-time Grade 1 winner offers outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live as we have horses on the walking ring for today's fifth race, claiming 40, going the 6 furlongs, and it's time for a paddock report. And as always, brought to you by Hillendale Farms, as we'll check out number 5. She's one of 2 new faces here in this grouping, a Shapeshifter as well as Richie's Little Wildcat, but I prefer Shapeshifter here. Now, she is one that possesses some tactical speed. She doesn't have to be right up on it. Little disappointing last time out over a sloppy track at Penn National. Yes, I think the water does get a little bit deeper here, but she certainly physically stands up well against this group. Big, good-looking filly, carries her weight well, and represents herself nicely here in the paddock for a guy in Mike Pino, who is very sharp. As we'll check out your current favorite in number 7, Gypsy Janie. Speaking of sharp, well, that's exactly what this duo of owner-trainer, Jeremiah Engelhardt and Jimmy Riccio, are. And she is a filly who is typically on her toes, and Pat Quick did an excellent job with her. But Jeremiah is very good with horses that he claims, and she looks fantastic here, guys. I really have no complaints whatsoever with your current favorite as they are hitting the track.
All right, Maggie, thank you. Yeah, our post-parade coming up here in just a moment. Talked about all the speed in this race. Again, if you're just tuning in, this kicks off the Pick 6 carryover of just over $40,000 heading into Alabama Day today. So the total pool at $158,000 and growing. Great time to get signed up, started, play along if you're not already a member of Naira Bets. $200 new member bonus going on now. Use the promo code Saratoga Live and bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Call to post right behind us. And we're going to get a look at this field here coming up to kick off this pick six here. 40,000 claiming race. 3/4 of a mile to kick things off of this first leg. And we will see Elizabeth Nicole. Here's the one horse in our screen here. Young Dylan Davis. Had a great meet at Belmont. Young rider who's been seeming to get better and better. Be teaming up with Gary Contessa here in this spot in the silks of DCK Racing here.
Yeah, this horse, not a bad effort last time. Claimed from the Ron McCrae barn at 6-1 and ran okay, but it was a weakish field, so 13-1 today.
Was off the layoff too. Maybe that speed lasts a little longer here this afternoon. Second off the bench. 2 was scratched. Took out a little bit of the speed. There's still plenty left. Here's the 3, Our Girl Abby, Danny Gargan, Kendra Carmouche.
Just missed last time to tee up in here the 6, and maybe the 1 to beat. At least the public thinks that now.
Richie's Little Wildcat, sent out by Larry Ravelli. More speed, Florent Giroux aboard.
On the lead, 7 of his last 8 races. That one will definitely be heard from early.
Stakes winner at Fairmount Park last time out, 4-1 on the board. The 5 Shapeshifter, trained by Michael Pino with Irad Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, this filly lost at 3-5 last time out, adding blinkers at Penn. I thought this was a play against.
More pace with a 6. Tee Up coming off a nose victory at this meet on opening weekend.
Tee Up does have pace, but Tee Up has also been close to or on to some kind of softer type fractions.
Gypsy Janie, current favorite 5-2 off the claim for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
This horse is working great since the claim. I think a lot of the public are thinking the blinker's been added. He should be able to rate from the outside, or she should. That's why she's the favorite.
And Simona, 16-1, should be coming from off the pace.
Love this horse at 16-1 with all this speed signed up in here. Closed into that slow pace that we talked about the Tee Up had, so it's always an upgrade for me.
All right, could light things up early in this pick 6 carryover pool. Close to $170,000 and still growing. We're going to take a break in the action. The story of Princess of Sylmar, how she came to be and what she meant to her owner and breeder when we come back.
Turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome in third. Shared Belief laboring back to in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Back on Saratoga Live. Thanks for being with us here on Alabama Day. 3-year-old fillies going 1.25 miles in one of the most prestigious races in the country. Still to come a little bit later on. Of course, Midnight BISOU will be the one to beat in that race. Majority owner Jeff Bloom is with Gabby Gaudet right now.
Thanks, Greg. And we're hanging out here in the box seats. And Jeff, we were just talking about it. It's Alabama Day. We're a couple hours out from the Alabama as you will send out the post-time favorite. What's going through you right now?
I want the race to hurry up and get here. I mean, we got lucky. The weather cleared. It's beautiful out. It's Alabama Day, but I'm ready.
All right, and Midnight BISOU, hopefully she's ready later today too. But talk about the Coaching Club American Oaks and how you reflect on that race in hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we ran against a good horse in Monomoy Girl, and the race didn't necessarily set up great for us with a very moderate pace. And, you know, we had to go pretty wide in that race. And, you know, I've talked about how our filly didn't really have her A game that day. She seemed to be agitated on the post parade. Typically, she's keyed up in the paddock, and then when she comes out on the track, she just drops her head down, relaxes, and makes her way to the gate. And she just got hot and kind of not bad, and you know, she felt great according to Mike, and obviously she ran a big second, but we think she's in better shape today, and she's had a little bit more time in between races.
Exactly, and more time to settle up here at the spa. I'll let you go settle in the boxes. Try to relax, try to have fun, but best of luck later today.
Thank you so much.
All right, Greg, back to you.
Gabby, thank you. That's Midnight BISOU working out in the morning. Coach Jeff Bloom, he was on the West Coast, missed the Coaching Club American Oaks. He had a prior commitment here today. Former jockey, hoping for big things from his filly in our Grade 1 still to come. There's a look at our girl Abby, again, our pick 6 starting here in this 5th race. And Kendrick Carmouche aboard for Danny Gargan, just missed by a nose back on opening weekend here at Saratoga. Might get a nice stalking trip in here.
Yeah, listen, the 6 and her just went at it from the get-go. Well, not from the get-go, but when they hooked up, Tee Up to 6 was able to hold off the 3R Gabby, but I think it's going to be a little bit different. Second time in the barn and Danny Gargan, and I think maybe our girl Abby needed that race.
Our girl Abby, one of my favorite tools is Trackus. Trackus had her going 26 feet further than Tee Up, so you take that into consideration. About 10 feet as a length, she might be running a better race.
5-2, second choice on the board right now. You guys talked about an intriguing long shot that some of you might want to throw in on your tickets in here. Simona with all this pace in here in her running style, 18-1 could be interesting.
Yeah, look, I picked the 7 with 9-2 morning line, but now at 2-1, the 18-1 on the 8 is a lot more interesting. That horse is closing into those slow fractions that we mentioned that the Tee Up race previously on opening weekend. I love it when horses are closing into slow fractions, and especially when they're going to get pace to run into today.
Let's take a look at the most recent ever. This is back on July 21st here at Saratoga. Does not get out good, as you can see.
Yeah, she didn't. And what happened was she sort of got to the outside, and now you're seeing Tee Up on the front end. Now our girl Abby's going to start swooping, and Tee Up and our girl Abby are going to hook up here all the way down to the wire. While you see Simona grinding away. She only loses this race by about 4.5 lengths. She might have lost 2. Would have been a lot closer than it looks on paper. So you're getting 18-1.
She has only won once in her career. She's facing, with the exception really of the one, just about everybody else a multiple winner in this spot.
That's why you're getting 18-1. She's going to have to get lucky with the trip.
Check in with Maggie Wolfendale for more.
Just some quick thoughts to confuse everybody a little more, but number 1 is Elizabeth Nicole. She's second off a layoff, and last time, guys, she got really nervous and got a little washy, and that just screams of a horse who needs a race. She ran like that, too. Today, different story, calm, cool, and relaxed, as number 4 is Richie's little Wildcat. Look, she comes in from out of town. I didn't love her. She's been running, she ran and won against state-bred, Illinois-bred horses. She'll be part of that early pace as well, but I just couldn't recommend her based upon what I saw physically with her, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. A lot of times we talk about these races have all these speedsters in there, and it doesn't work out that way. Someone just gets to the lead of the front. They're whoever's most aggressive. Could we see that here?
Well, the jocks read the form too, you know, and they see that, and they try to be a little bit more cautious. So it happens all the time, but we'll see what happens here.
Tee Up just went in the gate. One of the quickest. Went gate to wire last time out. Holding off our girl Abby. And it is right now Gypsy Janie the 7, the favorite to beat on the board. Pick 6 starts here. Let's send it upstairs to the Voice New York Racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
Just one left to load here. Simona's coming up to the outside stall, steps forward and in. And they're all in line. They're off. Elizabeth Nicole with a sharp start from the rail and out for the lead. Richie's little Wildcat away running in second. Tee Up is third to the outside. Our Girl Abby came out in fourth. Then comes Simona, followed by Gypsy Janie and Shapeshifter taken to the rear of the field. 7 lengths off of dueling leaders Elizabeth Nicole and Richie's little Wildcat, who together complete a quarter in 22.54 seconds. Tee Up is third, 2.5 lengths off of them. Our Girl Abby is fourth on the inside. Gypsy Janie and Simona still about 7 lengths behind on the far turn. Shapeshifter at the back of the pack. Elizabeth Nicole on the rail. Richie's little Wildcat on the outside. Locked in battle coming to the quarter pole. 3 to Our Girl Abby and Tee Up as they make their way to the top of the stretch. The half mile is in 46.42 seconds. They're into the stretch. Elizabeth Nicole, Richie's little Wildcat. Elizabeth Nicole trying to shake away here. Opening up from Richie's little Wildcat. And here comes Shapeshifter, who's moving up on the outside up into second. But Elizabeth Nicole still on top at 20 to 1 here. Holding on to this lead. Shapeshifter not going to get her. Elizabeth Nicole and Dylan Davis pull off the upset. Shapeshifter was second, and then it was Gypsy Janie, and very close for fourth between Simona and Tee Up in 1:13.46.
We're one leg into the pick six. Do we have a double carryover? Elizabeth Nicole, 20 to 1, and it was this horse from the rail that got to the front.
The race was over within a second. She opened up a length on this field right out of the gate. They were all playing catch up. Looked like the floor maybe here, but nobody.
Gary Contessa claimed this horse and ran her back in 10 days. I looked on Formulator this morning. He's never done that successfully, so this is the first time. Well, he hadn't done it in the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years, yeah, and you're going to get $42. And listen, again, we've seen a couple horses on the front end, but we've also seen some horses like Shapeshifter and Gypsy Janie did come off the base, and the 8th that Jonathan like Simona. But again, look at the time. 1:13, tiring racetrack. You need a horse that has bottom underneath him. And the one did have some bottom.
She
wow.
was getting a little leg worry late.
She was, but it doesn't matter.
She was able to hang on.
I think right now running horses off their feet might be the thing to do, you know?
There's Gary Contessa, racks up another victory here. Teaming up with young Dylan Davis for the victory. Zip to the front, gets the job done, able to hang on late for the victory. And a 20 to 1 shot to start off this pick six carryover here on Alabama Day. 1-5-7 finish. We'll be back with prices right after this. Of course, Midnight Bees are the one to beat in the Alabama, but stablemate, she's a Julie. And try and take it to her in this spot, coming off a big effort.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warthrock. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Saratoga, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
Saratoga Live, the pick 6 underway with a long shot here. Elizabeth Nicole for DCK Racing. Gary Contessa off the claim with a win.
Look, I mean, you know, nowadays guys don't run horses back in 10 days, but there's something to it. They're fit.
That August 8th race, that was the first race since October. It was the 3-year-old debut, second start. Yeah, quick return and job well done here.
We always talk about the late pick 5, you know, because it's not a late pick 5. But listen, you always can get involved early and claim $9,000 if you got the first 5 winners. It was tough sledding, but if you did, good on you. That's some good handicapping. Nice hit, and you got a bankroll to go after the late one. True. Let's head downstairs to Gabby Gaudet.
Saratoga.
Thanks, Greg. Here with winning trainer Gary Contessa. Congratulations, first and foremost, but this was a very interesting move. You claimed this filly, run her back in 10 days. What led you to this decision?
Well, I claimed her, and she's kind of a fireball, and she was training so well. She never missed a beat. I mean, when I got her, she was in the stall, tearing the stall up. She was tough on the track. I mean, full of energy. So it's the kind of horse you can do that with.
And she shot out of the gate today. Were you expecting that type of speed?
You know, I actually was. She trains like that. But the day I claimed her, she was really hot, and she was really fretting in the paddock, and really she wasn't happy. You know, Saratoga's not for everybody first time. So today she was a perfect angel in the paddock, and I think it made all the difference.
I saw a lot of cotton in her ears to help her settle today, but you are losing ties left and right. The other day you gave your tie to Joel Rosario. Today you gave your tie to a random fan. What's going on?
Well, everybody knows that I gave the last tie to Rosario, so this guy, I don't even know who he is. He says to me, hey, Gary, I really like your tie. I said, I'll tell you what, if I win this race, it's yours. He's waiting right there for me. He says, I'll take the tie. I gave him the tie.
Well, one thing's for sure, Gary is a man of his word, but he's going to have to replenish his tie collection after Saratoga. Congratulations, Gary.
I will. Thank you.
All right, back to you, Greg.
Well, if he keeps winning like this here, he'll have plenty of wardrobe money to replenish himself. Elizabeth Nicole, quick return here, coming back on just 10 days rest. Race that we thought had so much speed in it. In the end, Elizabeth Nicole, the quickest to the quick, and kept on going.
Maybe this could be a ritual. I played with Sean Green. Every time he hit a home run, he used to give his batting gloves away. Every time Gary Contessa wins, give my tie away.
I like it.
Yeah, right?
What do you give away when you hit a pick 5? Naira bets late pick 5.
I buy you dinner.
Going hungry this meet. Oh. Saratoga Showdown online contest. Get involved. Go to Naira.com/showdown. You're competing for real prizes. You're not risking any of your own money. And one of those prizes is a prize package to next year's Belmont Stakes. So be sure and get down in the contest. We'll show the leaderboard, of course, toward the end of the show. Alabama Day here on the East Coast. Out west, they have a big one as well with the Pacific Classic, and Accelerates lining up and trying to pull off a rare triple for his trainer.
He really is. Listen, he's turned out to be the best older horse in California, by far the son of Lookin' and Lucky. John Sadler's done a good job with him. This is him beating Dr. Dior. Jonathan, we just need to figure out. First of all, we need to figure out if Bob Baffert has the real deal in an Argentina bred that they're bringing in here, because you never know what Bob's got. But we also need to figure out, is Accelerating the same, breath as Diversify?
No, I don't think he's in the same breath as Diversify. I think Accelerate's good, but he's just kind of a default pick. He's just the horse that's probably going to win the race, but he doesn't really get me excited. I'm going to take a look down on the rail with the Lieutenant. It's a half to Justify. Mike McCarthy shipped the horse out here, ran well in the Suburban. Back out there, going to run this 1.25 mile race. I think he could be dangerous at a nice price.
Accelerate looking to join Lava Man and Game On Dude, the only two so far to sweep the 3 big grade 1s in California, the Big Cap, the Gold Cup, and the Pacific Classic. So we'll see if he can make that happen.
You got to give John Sadler credit making that move.
Naira Bets late pick 5. If you're the only winning ticket today on Alabama Day, no matter how much is in the pool, you're guaranteed a minimum of $300,000 in your account. It starts with a maiden special weight at 6 furlongs coming up, as we have a fantastic crowd on hand. Introduced to horse racing at a very early age, Charlotte Weber's love of this sport of horse racing has grown ever since, earning her a Most Distinguished Woman in Racing award, campaigning a Breeders' Cup Mile winner in Mies's approval as well.
Probably very foolishly, I went out and bought my first racehorse in about 1968. And I had an immediate stakes winner, so I was very lucky, and I caught the bug.
Mrs. Weber's got a lot of class, and she is very humble. I come from Texas, and I'm not afraid to be boastful for her. And Live Oak Stud on 50 graded stakes winners, and relatively speaking, she is a small operation.
It started out as 1,000 acres. Then I started to buy property that was contiguous to the first 1,000 acres, and now I'm up to 4,500 acres. I have Brahmas, Angus, and then I have brood mares and foals and yearlings and horses in training.
We breed to race and sell brood mare prospects, because we can't keep all of the fillies. But we breed everything to race, and we are smart enough to know that we don't know everything.
My horses, everything I send in training, are usually all my homebreds, plus I'll add a few.
I would say Win Approval probably fits up in a who's who list in the history of the game, because she's had 4 graded stakes winners. So that's her breeding through and through. So yeah, she's got to be a top 10 mare, maybe in the history of the game.
All I can tell you is it was probably one of the most exhilarating days of my life. As good as it gets. I mean, how do you get better than you strive for the top and you hit the ball out of the park? That's good. It's good. First over the finish line. I think a lot of people think it's just put out your dollars and it'll all happen, but that's not what happens.
And that's the ruin of a lot of people. But she has shown the persistence to stay in this business for a long, long time that a lot of people, she truly has the passion for racing.
So over the years, I have upped my game. I have gone from being happily satisfied from winning 5 claimers. Now, I want to win stakes.
Mrs. Weber is humble and she's quietly competitive. She's extremely competitive. As the saying goes, the little duck that looks like he's floating on top of the pond, quietly, those little legs are churning underneath the water.
I am very optimistic to think that I'm going to have a very good year of racing.
She's got that passion. She's going to keep grinding.
I'll take a Triple Crown. I like to win 1 a year and then win all 3 and then come down and go up, but that's not realistic. I think I'm going to have some nice fillies. That's always exciting for me, because if it's a nice filly, then I can bring her home and breed her. She becomes part of the Live Oak family. And the colts, you know, if I have a Cracker Jack colt, who knows where I'm going to go with that.
Well, she has an incredible love of this game. She's going to have Wild Medaglia d'Oro coming up. Maybe she's going to get that Triple Crown. This horse could develop into a star. We'll see. Start number 2 coming up today. Of course, last year had a big moment here in the 4-star day with World Approval, who would go on to win an Eclipse Award. But there's a look at her 2-year-old, who is making career start number 2, and right now is a heavy favorite off his fantastic finish. The start wasn't so good. The finish was great.
Yeah, sharp figure last time. It really concerns me when they're going 6 furlongs when you have a horse that didn't break so well last time. It's just a concern. It doesn't say anything about their quality. It's just, it's tough winning at 6 when you don't break from the gate.
Yeah, it is. It is. Listen, this is a horse to beat. And you see the pick 5 follow along from yesterday. Pause for a Cause was part of an entry, Greg. And they were basically telling you, single this horse at 380. Now, I'm not telling you had to get all the rest of them, but you still got $22,000 after that.
Including Chattel and a monster number in the Skidmore. Yeah, it was not an easy sequence to come up with, but you were rewarded handsomely if you were able to come up with that. Today, again, if you're the only winning ticket in the Naira Bets Late Pick 5, our pool right now at 88,000 and growing. If it stayed at that number, you're the only winning ticket, you get a minimum of $300,000. That's what we call value.
That is what you call value, yeah. And my ticket's going to be somewhat economical. I'll go after it for $60, but I'm going to pin it on the 5 here. Listen, I know the horse is 4 to 5, maybe 3 to 5, and I don't love playing horses like this. But when you look at the other horses in this race, they're not really working as well. And I do like this horse has a little bottom and made up a ton of ground. And then I'm just going to try to spread, get some prices, and get to the last race. It's been decimated by scratches because it's off the turf. It looks like a 2-horse race to me, the 16 Brimstone and the 13 in the last. So $60 ticket. If the 5 gets home here, I feel confident.
Naira Bets Late Pick 5. It is coming up next. How do you guys feel about champagne? You a fan?
Champagne? Of course.
Can VEUVE steal it in the Alabama for Rudolph Brissett, coming off a grade 3 win in the Indiana Oaks. She's going to try and use that speed to her advantage in the big one coming up.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Heavily prized, who passes the 8th pole with the lead by a length and a half. Lakeway is being left behind in second here at the Graveyard of Champions. Heavenly Prize is going on to win it, and she'll win here by 5. Lakeway, in a shocking defeat, is second.
Alabama's been good to Mike Smith. That was back in 1994. It turned out to be a 7-length margin of victory for Heavenly Prize, who off that would go on to win the Grade 1 Gazelle and the Grade 1 Beldame as well.
Well, he's a tremendous racehorse, and Mike Smith, I can say this, is one of my good friends. Wow, he was better looking when he had hair.
You're a cruel, cruel man. He looks good with the lid now.
I actually saw him this morning on the way to the racetrack. He's excited today for Midnight BISOU.
How about this? Songbird, Jostle, Pretty Discreet, Heavenly Prize. We showed you Sky Beauty, his wins in the Alabama, trying to get another one this year. He will have the morning line favorite trying to do it. Midnight BISOU 7-5.
Yeah, 7-5, you know, for a horse trying something for the first time. I'm not crazy about it. Trying to go for the 1.25 miles. She didn't really do anything. She didn't really have an excuse last time, the CCA Oak. So, you know, it's hard to take a horse like that at a short price when they didn't really have an excuse last time.
Yeah, she had to chase Monomoy Girl. That maybe had a lot to do with it. But she's the one to beat. She is wheeling back pretty quickly. We'll see what happens today. But you're looking at your favorite in the stakes race today.
So that's still to come. Right now, it's the first leg of this Naira Bets late pick 5. We're going to check in the paddock right now with Maggie Wolfendale. This paddock report brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Bayern for $15,000.
And Greg, while Medalla d'Oro looks like the horse to beat, want to check in with a couple of first-time starters occupying inside stalls here, including number 1, who's going to be a big price in here, and that is Clayton the Lionheart, who will go out for lower profile connections. But this guy immediately caught my eye. There's not much pedigree to speak of. In fact, being a declaration of war, you would think that maybe turf would be in his future, but declaration of war could definitely handle the dirt. He did run 3rd on his first try on it in the Breeders' Cup Classic. This is a beautifully put together animal. I mean, he is just big, but he's well balanced. He represents himself well here in the paddock. He's just been nicely on the bridle. He is wearing blinkers first time out, so the thought of him wanting a little more ground than the 6 furlongs is in the back of my mind. But at a price, this guy could not look better. As we'll check in with number 2, Code of Honor. Now, another one by more of a turf stallion, definitely much more noble mission. But the Dam reunited. It was a multiple stakes winner in dirt sprints, and the family has been good dirt sprinters. Looks like it. Shug not known to fire necessarily with his first-time starters. This guy a little bit on the smaller, somewhat backward side, so I'd like to see him develop a little bit more moving forward. And then number 4 is Kentucky Wildcat, arguably the best pedigree. This one, Tom Albatrani, kind of, I'm sure, close to the vest, as a son of Better Lucky and multiple Grade 1 winner on the turf, and she was a good dirt sprinter too. She could dance every dance, as this guy is a son of Tappet, and I like what I see. Well muscled here, looks strong, is well prepared overall. Yes, Tommy not known to fire with first-time starters, but I would not be surprised when this guy runs well here, as Jersey Joe Bravo is once again wearing the Godolphin blue, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. Of course, Joe Bravo winning with endorsed in Godolphin blue back in race number 4. First-time starter that was just gobbling up ground late to get that victory and beat that Chad Brown first-timer.
Yeah, I have a feeling the 4 is a runner here. If you look at the comments, was immediately broke out of the gate fast in the work and then was grabbed quickly. So I would think that Kentucky Wildcat would be fast. But again, all the money on the horse. It's got experience here, the 5.
Yeah, the 4 Kentucky Wildcat is definitely interesting. Coming out, you know, tap it out of the Better Lucky, the mare who ran 2nd in the Filly and Mare Sprint a few years back.
Sam the Bugler called a post. And our post spread coming up here. There's Code of Honor. Like he is on his toes here for Shug Bagehi. Will Farish for his first out effort, son of Noble Mission. And we're going to start things off with Clayton the Lionheart here in just a moment. Phil Bauer from the inside, son of Declaration of War.
Yeah, and Phil Bauer doesn't get enough credit. He's good with his 2-year-olds. About 15%, 12% first time out. You get a live rider in Ricardo Santana. This one bred by the China Horse Club.
Here's Code of Honor. Again, Shug Bagehi trains this one. John Velasquez in the irons.
When you think Shug, you don't think first-time starters on the sprinting on the dirt, but this one could be live. A work couple back was pretty competitive.
Most mischief, 2 starts under his belt already, so he has experience for Brett Calhoun.
Yeah, I thought his last one was a little bit better than the one before that, but he still needs to improve against this group.
Kentucky Wildcat 11-1 on the board, trained by Tom Albertrani and Joe Bravo for Godolphin again.
Kentucky Wildcat in the blue silks is appropriate, I would say. 2 back. The workout report said broke a little bit slow. Need to break better today.
5 horse, and this is the one everyone's trying to beat here. 3-5. Irad Ortiz Jr., trained by Mark Cassie.
Yeah, listen, it looks flashy on paper, but he has to get out of the gate for him to break his maiden. This is sometimes can be an overbet horse.
Looks like his mind's on business as well today. Fiery Tail, the 6, a firster for Barkley Tag, Junior Alvarado.
Barkley Tag with 3 winners of the meet. One of those winners was actually working with this horse, Brucia Latera.
You are not so bad. A firster for Kieran McLaughlin. Could he win with another first-timer today? Jose Ortiz aboard.
$210,000 OBS purchase. You saw him earlier win a race. You don't have to remind you that Kieran's always dangerous up here.
Pantherist Leo D. Wayne Lucas sends out this firster with Luis Saez.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking behind me in the 3 real quick. Most Mischief through his rider, so hopefully thinking everything's okay. Luis Saez aboard for this son of Discreet Cat, so we'll get a report from Maggie on the 3.
And 19-1 here on quick entry for trainer Ian Wilkes.
Point of entry doesn't scream sprinting on the dirt. However, this horse has been working with older winners, and I always love to see that when who they're working with in the mornings.
In the famous silks, Mary Lou Whitney stables as well. And so big price here. It's the first leg of this Naira Bets late pick 5. You like this horse on the outside, huh?
Yeah, no, it's the horse I picked. You know, when it comes to these first-time starters, you know, the workout reports have obviously become really popular, and the grades and the B's and the C's. One of the things that I like to do, and I got it from an old buddy of mine, Duke Matisse, is to look who they've been working with and establish if that's a good, talented horse or not. I mean, you can work B+ with a horse that's not very good, but if you're working heads up with an older horse that's winning races, it says a lot for these younger horses that haven't run before.
Meanwhile, the 3 who Paul said had acted up a little bit, Kendrick Carmouche. If we can get a look at him. We saw him go by briefly. But
he threw Kendrick. I don't think it was much. I could hear the crowd going oohing and on, but Kendrick was able to get back on the horse and go, and now he's got him away. And see, I think Kendrick just wanted to get him away from everybody, you know what I mean? But listen, they all have to beat the 5, but the 5 can't beat himself. He's warming up nicely, like you said, and I would think they're going to try to be aggressive on the warm-up to get him out of the gate. And listen, it pins my hopes for the rest of the day.
And, yeah, aggressive warm-up. Hopefully he breaks cleaner and sharper today. He's looked fantastic here warming up. Will that translate into a big effort here in his second start? 3-5 favorite, Wild Medaglia d'Oro. As we start our Naira Bets late pick 563,000 in the pool and growing. We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-old sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live, again, the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 coming up here on Alabama Day. We're just 3 minutes to post here in the first leg of the sequence. I'm not a big wrestling fan, but I'm being told that is Captain Chaos. Fans enjoying it. As we're going to see the top 3-year-old fillies, some of them in the land here coming up. We're going to see a Breeders' Cup winner in Rushing Fall in the Lake Placid. But first things first here, our first leg of this Naira Bets Late Pick 5. There's the captain. Fans enjoying this Alabama Saturday here. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale for more.
I would not want to mess with that guy, that's for sure. As number 8 is You Are Not So Bad. This one was a graduate of the OBS March sale in which he did work 10-1 and had a quick, efficient stride. So indicating to me that this guy should be okay in dirt sprints. A son of Into Mischief. The dam, though, was actually a bit better on turf and synthetic. So this was not her preferred surface. And obviously those workouts do come on a synthetic surface. Looking at this guy in the paddock, a little on the soft side. He was pretty laid back. So we'll see what shakes out. Is taking some nibbles, I would say, on the board at 9-1. Though number 10, Quick Entry, is a massive price. Guys, this horse caught my eye. He is by Quick, he is a half to Quick, who, yes, did break her maiden up here, but in her second start, watch how this one runs today. Maybe next time we want it, because he looks like he might have some talent. As we'll throw it over to Gabby, what do you got for us?
Well, Maggie, I was taking a look at Code of Honor, the first-time starter, the number 2 for trainer Shug McGahee, and as he was kind of walking out of the paddock, really high energy. He had eyes going everywhere, so I thought that was curious to see, considering he's coming out of the Shug McGahee barn. So I went and talked to him, and I asked him about how this horse has been training, and he said he's been training really forwardly and nicely since he's come up here, since Fair Hill is where he was, and he came up here, got a couple of works over the track, and Shug did say it all depends on the break, but just given his demeanor, given how he's been training, he would expect this horse to show a little bit of speed. So maybe some insight in terms of the pace of the race, Greg.
A lot of question marks in here with all these first timers. Of course, the biggest question of all, can Wild Medaglia d'Oro start better than he did last time? He is 3-5 on the board as you look at the 2-horse there in the Silks of Will Farish, Code of Honor. And you brought this up earlier, Jonathan. Yes, Shug McGahee not known for having him fire their best shot first time out of the gate, but this horse has looked good.
He does look good in the paddock, in the post freight, you know, and the same goes for Ian Wilkes. He's not known for getting his to run first time out. And you can tell by the tote board with the favorite Wild Medaglia d'Oro being 3-5. People just don't know where to go here. There's all these first-time starters. They gravitate to the horse with the nice, impressive figure and the nice closing run, and who's run before.
Had that wide trip as well around the turn, gobbling up ground, and just came up second in that first out effort. Now, can he move forward? We will find out here. It seems like many of the tickets playing this Naira Bets Late Pick 5 singling their hopes on him here to start things out.
This is where you can make some money in these pick 5s. A horse like this, where you know it's on everybody's ticket. If the 5 gets beat here, it's already going to be set to pay pretty well.
You have so much experience in these tournaments and playing for money and things like that. How do you attack a wager like a pick 5?
Yeah, no, I try to weigh it, right? I try to weigh my bets. I try not to just have one ticket. You know, Steve Chris called it the caveman ticket. I try not to just have one ticket. I try to weigh my opinion. If I like a horse more, I want to try to press that a little bit more. Maybe have a $1 pick 5 or a $2 pick 5. And then with some of the longer shots, you know, with my 10-1 here that I like, I wouldn't want to have the 10 equally with the 5. It doesn't make sense. The 5's a much more likely winner than the 10. So I try to weigh them a little bit like that. Kind of construct multiple tickets so that my equity is kind of spread out a little bit more to resemble my opinion.
So if you're going to use the 10 in here on a ticket, maybe use some more favorites the rest of the way and not hope for more bombs?
If you hit the 10 right here, you want to make sure you catch the ticket. So you want to use some of the, you also want to use some favorites and some bombs later too, because the bombs are the ones that are going to kind of help you find that life-changing score.
And there's the 10. So I've been having some nice works here in the morning for trainer Ian Wilkes in the Silks of Mary Lou Whitney, who's been so important to Saratoga and the town of Saratoga Springs. Be sensational to see those Silks in the winner's circle. Of course, had the Whitney run just the other week. Had that 41-minute rain delay and didn't seem to slow Diversify down at all. We'll see how Quick Entry does for the Mary Lou Whitney stables coming up. But there is the one to beat here in the Stokes of Live Oak Plantation. Charlotte Weber stepping into the gates. Wild Medaglia d'Oro. There's Charlotte looking on. Said she dreams still one day, keeping that dream alive of winning a Triple Crown. The trophy's here today. Could we be looking into the future of 2019 with one of these runners? Possibly. Not too early to say that, right?
It's always a possibility. That's what's exciting about Saratoga is what's going to happen. One of these horses could show up in the first Saturday in May.
Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call. Larry Colmus kicks off this Naira Bets late pick 5.
Kentucky Wildcat has moved into the starting gate, and Quick Entry is coming up to the outside stall to complete the line here. Goes in. They're all in line. They're off. And a fast start by Most Mischief and Code of Honor on the inside. These two out for the lead with You Are Not So Bad. And the three of them speed off from the favorite Wild Medaglia d'Oro. They're followed by Clayton the Lionheart, Kentucky Wildcat. Outside of them, Pantheress Leo is next. Fiery Tails on the inside. The trailer is Quick Entry. Heading for the half-mile pole, it is Code of Honor in front to half a length to Most Mischief. 23:07 that opening quarter mile. You Are Not So Bad perched outside the top two, running in third position. Kentucky Wildcat is fourth. Wild Medaglia d'Oro begins to move up on the outside. Clayton the Lionheart is down toward the rail. And then it's Quick Entry, followed by Fiery Tail. And at the back of the pack is Pantheress Leo. They're coming toward the top of the stretch. It is Code of Honor. And here comes Wild Medaglia d'Oro on the far outside. You Are Not So Bad is in between those two. After a 47:01 half mile, they're into the stretch, and it's Code of Honor trying to fend off the challenge of Wild Medaglia d'Oro in the final furlong. Quick Entry is taken third on the outside. Code of Honor still there. Wild Medaglia d'Oro not going to get Code of Honor, who goes all the way and wins it by a length and 3/4 in the end. Wild Medaglia d'Oro was second best. You Are Not So Bad was third, and Quick Entry fourth in 1:11.42.
Code of Honor. Shug McGahee, a first-timer for the barn, getting the job done with John Velasquez.
The theme of the day today is Kieran won first out, Shug won first out. Both of these horses are going to be pretty good.
This horse, yeah, absolutely showing some talent. Wild Medaglia d'Oro was starting to wind up here and come at him. Just could not reach this Son of Noble Mission.
No, it looks like the inside might be the place you want to be. Forwardly placed down on the inside. Some horses seem to be outrunning their odds that are down inside.
So 6-1, right at his morning line. Code of Honor gets the job done. Very tight for third. It looks like the 10 just lost third in here. It is a photo for show. And I am notorious for having the worst eyes in the business, but I think I even caught that.
Hopefully we have some superfecta players. It looks like the 10 ran fourth.
Oof. We'll make that official in just a moment. But Code of Honor, this was a very big effort. First time out. John Velasquez, of course. And it's the 8, by the way, just edging out the 10 there unofficially. So 2, 5, 8, 10. But a 6-1 start here in our Naira Bets late pick 5. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Code of Honor taking the field wire to wire. And Shug, I was talking to you off air before the race. You said it was all about the break. He broke well.
Broke well. You know, I thought maybe the 3 would be in front, but he broke good, and Johnny went on with him. And, you know, I saw Mark's horse running around the turn, but I said Johnny's still got a lot of horse, so I'm pleased with the way he ran.
And he did make the lead. He went pretty quickly, but it looked like he kind of dug back in there coming down the stretch.
I thought he did. You know, they kind of came to him a little bit, and then, you know, but like I said, around the turn, I could see he still had some horse, so, you know, we're pleased.
All right, congratulations on this one. All right, Greg, Code of Honor going wire to wire here, showing a lot of speed today.
Yes, he did, and an odds-on favorite defeated to start off this Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence, but an impressive first-time starter. And here's a look at Shug McGahee getting congratulations. Hall of Fame trainer, has accomplished so much in this sport, including a Kentucky Derby with Orb back in 2013. But Wild Medaglia d'Oro, he broke a lot better than he did first time out. You thought after the start of the race, things looked good for him.
He did. He kind of broke. He was in a tight little spot, and I think Irad did a great job kind of getting him into the clear. That's what you're supposed to do when you have a 3-to-5 shot. You don't want to get him buried in behind horses and have trouble. Got him in the clear. Looks like the horse is still a little bit green. Was kind of all over the place in the stretch. The previous slow start kind of suggests that's the case.
Yeah, meanwhile, quick entry. I know a horse that you liked on the outside there. He had a really wide trip early on.
Yeah, a horse you definitely could probably bet back. And like I said, Ian Wilkes is better second time. So the fact that that horse ran so good first, you know, suggests that it has a little bit of talent.
Alabama, we got to get your selection. What do you think of the big race?
Talk VEUVE for me. I love that horse. I think that she's going to be forwardly placed. I think that, you know, Rudolph had mentioned before that, you know, he's the exercise rider for Royal Delta and said that this horse feels just a lot of similarities there. Forwardly placed, kind of just cruises along there. I think the 1.25 miles is going to be great for her.
All right. Talk VEUVE to me for Jonathan Kinchin. We appreciate you being on the show. It's been fun having you again.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Shug McGahee, Code of Honor. And John Velasquez for Will Farish. Get the job done here in race 6, $15 for the win. Wild Medallia d'Or, the heavy favorite, winding up second at 3-to-5. And You Are Not So Bad, completing a trifecta that comes back for 50 cents, $35.62. Jonathan Kinchin likes Top VEUVE to me. He's been our guest. It's been great having him on set here. Now he could just enjoy the rest of the afternoon, hopefully, and have a little bit of fun here in Alabama Day. I'll be back with Tom Amos here on the roof right after this. Andy Serling, Paul LaDuca, Gabby Gaudette, Maggie Wolfendale join me and Tom right after this as we have the Lake Placid still to come and the Alabama ahead. Mike Smith, he'll be on board the favorite Midnight BISOU. Grade 2 Mother Goose winner, the one to beat. Will it be another memorable trip east? He's had a lot of big wins here in New York where he used to ride regularly. Can he do it one more time? We will find out shortly. Stay tuned. The Alabama's still to come on Saratoga Live here on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. We'll be back. Stay with us.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Next on Saratoga Live, it's Alabama Day as 3-year-old fillies take center stage. Grade 2 Mother Goose winner, Midnight BISOU, is squarely the one to beat. Talk VEUVE to me makes her second appearance in Grade 1 company. She comes into the Alabama off a sharp win in the Grade 3 Indiana Oaks as she tries to carry her speed 1.25 miles. And Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf winner, rushing fall, trying to bounce back from the first defeat of her career. Can she get back into the win column for trainer Chad Brown? Welcome to Alabama Day at Saratoga. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. We have an absolute packed house. Beautiful weather for one of the premier days of the race meet here at Saratoga Springs. Good to have you with us on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Greg Wolf alongside one of the top trainers in the country in trainer Tom Amos. Midnight BISOU, you know her well. You tackled her with Chocolate Martini in the coaching club American Oaks. What can you tell us about her?
Well, she's precocious. She's very, very fast and very, very tactical as far as speed goes. The question is the 1.25 miles. We're looking at the Mother Goose. This is a one-turn race here. The relevance of this race is simply showing you that she's very fast. But the relevance going 1.25 miles, maybe it kind of bends the issue a little bit because 1.25 miles is a pedigree distance. Does Midnight BISOU have it? For my money, I don't think so. So I'm going to play against this favorite.
We'll see what happens. It's her third start back since the Kentucky Oaks. She was sensational in the Mother Goose, and then she proved to be no match for Monomoy Girl. What will happen with the absence of the divisional leader this afternoon? $200 new member sign-up bonus going on now. Use the promo code Saratoga Live to take advantage and bet any track, anywhere, anytime. You can also download the NYRA app to get involved here on Alabama Day as well. We're going to check in downstairs now with the rest of our crew down by the paddock. New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling and former New York Met and LA Dodger Paul LaDuca.
Thanks so much, Greg. Paul, it's good to be here. Good to be here with you. All right, Midnight BISOU. I got to admit, I kind of agree with Amos. I'm a little against her today. I'm not as sold on her, especially at short price as everybody else. Where do you stand on her?
Well, I'm the same way. Listen, when a horse gets beat soundly like a girl, like somebody like Monomoy Girl, I understand where people are going. She's probably third into this division if you want to include Wonder Godot in there. But the 1.25 miles is the issue, and I'm going to try to beat against something. When they do something for the first time, I like to take a shot. You're taking a shot with a different horse than I am. I'm going to go swing a little bit more with Eskimo Kisses, but she still is the filly to beat. No question about that, but there is question marks.
No, she is the horse to beat, and I won't deny it. I think she's a very interesting horse, and she's a very good horse. I mean, neither is saying she isn't. That speed figures tell the story. You look at the buyer figures. Everybody said, oh, she ran this huge race in the Mother Goose. Her speed figure said that she didn't. It said she ran as well as she's ever run before. She didn't really step forward. Maybe she takes a step forward. I'm not going to worry about the distance that much. I'm going to assume they're all going to handle it to a certain respect. And Beto, I think, is the best horse, which is Paul Talk VEUVE for me.
Well, yeah, you're going to get the price, right? You're going to get a way better price there. That's why I thought in Eskimo Kisses you'd get a better price. And you make a good point about did the horse move forward or not. And that's something Tom can answer. But I understand she was in hand in the Mother Goose, but what was she going to run, 3 points faster on the buyer scale if she actually got asked?
Yeah,
it's not much more,
I'm not one of those. These are big, strong animals, and I think when they're moving as fast as they are, sort of hard to gear them down. Well, there's more members of this team. There's Maggie Wolfendale. She's in the paddock.
Thank you, Andy. And one of the kind of new shooters to this division is the outside runner in number 8, Talked VEUVE to me, for trainer Rudolph Brissett, who only in his first 1.5 years of training already has 2 graded stakes winners to his name, as she will try to get the 1.25 miles for the first time. As Tom was talking about pedigree, there isn't much to recommend as far as pedigree is concerned, but physicality, yes. She is a big, scopy, long-legged filly where she could actually use her early speed to her advantage. And as her trainer said, she is push button. She responds well, and if somebody decides to go out there and wing it, well, she can rate kindly to beneath Julien Leparoux. And another feather in her cap, her first try around 2 turns, she dominated in the Indiana Oaks. So I think this is a very exciting and promising filly who has never finished worse than second in all 5 career starts. As we'll check in next with Gabby Gaudette for a sentimental horse.
Well, Actually, Maggie, I'm out here on the turf course and just wanted to talk about the turf condition today, as the Lake Placid will be the only race that have run or here at Saratoga today. And we started the day off as the course listed as good. We got about 2 inches of rain overnight. So I have my little handy dandy pen here to do a little bit of a pen test. And as you can see, it is going in the ground just a little bit, but guys, I have to tell you, the sun has been out since this morning, and this turf course has drained really nicely for the track today, considering how much rain we got overnight.
All right, Gabby, thanks. That's certainly something to keep our eyes on. It's listed as soft right now. Of course, that Lake Placid, 1 1/8 coming up on the turf in race number 8. Rail, this is something to keep in mind as well. 27 feet for that race.
Yeah, look, when you're trying to judge what a turf course is with a pin, it's very, very difficult. And Gabby, of course, knows that. But I've walked on a lot of turf courses. They're very uneven when you walk on them. But this is a 1,000-pound animal going 40 miles an hour. They're on a different surface than what we can try to put out there.
Weather and track conditions you saw there brought to you by Pyranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of the Saratoga Racecourse. Piranha on, pests gone. So main track fast turf for that 8th race. Listed as soft. These are the races we're bringing you today. They comprise the late Pick 4 sequence. The 7th race, kicking things off, scheduled for the turf, now on the main track at 7 furlongs now, was scheduled for a mile. The 8th race is the Lake Placid on turf, the Grade 1 Alabama race number 9 for 3-year-old fillies. And the 10th race, that was originally scheduled for the turf as well, at a mile, now 7 furlongs on the dirt. Pick 4 begins with this race. 4 to 5 on Lovely La La for trainer Chad Brown. Had a win last time out, career start number 2. It came on the turf.
Yeah, it did, but 1 start on the dirt, first start of the career, ran a credible race. Looking at the pedigree of this daughter of Uncle Mo, it seems more suited for turf. I think some of the action you're seeing right there has to be because of the connections. Chad Brown, of course.
There's 4 to 5 on Lovely La La. Chad Brown trying to collect another winner here at the meet. The meet's leading trainer. Meanwhile, the 2, Courageous Change.
Check it out. A single right off the bat there, Greg. On
that
Pick 4 ticket.
Single.
Yeah, I'm making you turn the page, and you have a look of astonishment. Look, Beach Princess has been running against 2 very, very good horses. Frosty Ann, who we saw yesterday win a stake in the Saratoga Dew. I think she's won 6 in a row. And the other horse that she was running against, Satin Frost, well, she's 10 of 20 lifetime. Either of those horses in this race would be 3 to 5, in my opinion. We're going to spread out after that. I think pace is kind of iffy in our big race today, on the grass, that is, the Lake Placid. And so I'm spread out in that race, and I'm not sold on Midnight BISOU, so I'm spread out there as well. But look, I need to get through my single right here.
Be a real nice start at 7 to 1. $295,000 in the pool and growing as we get set for the start of the late Pick 4 coming up here on Alabama Day. Grade 2 Lake Placid still to come, not far from here in the Adirondack Mountains. We're going to see our Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf winner, Rushing Fall, trying to get back in the win column in that race. That's coming up in the 8th.